And we're live. So I can just adjusting everything here. And I think we're live. Hi everyone. I give everybody a chance to pop in. Today is supposed to be Oily Friday, but it's going to be kind of a combination of tea time plus Oily Friday. And if we have some time, I'm going to go into what I would have talked about on Wednesday, this past Wednesday. This was a little different week because on Tuesday I had to travel to go to a doctor's appointment, which is roughly about 2 hours away. And while there, I also take the time to spend some time with my son, with my grandbaby. So I didn't get a chance to do the live stream that I would normally do on Tuesdays. And because I was also there on Wednesday, I didn't do the Wisdom Wednesday live stream. And yesterday I tried to do it, and there was something came up. So I said, okay, you know what? Let's just leave it for Friday, and I'll do a little bit of a combination. It'll be a bit more relaxing. Today is all about sandalwood because it was a special request from a viewer last Friday. Remember at the end, I always ask, what would you like to hear more about? So last Friday, a viewer mentioned that they would like to hear a little bit more about sandalwood. So I'm going to talk about sandalwood today. I'm going to show you a little piece of natural sandalwood, as well as give you a couple blends that you could try to make using sandalwood. And I'm going to share with you a blend that I created this morning based on a very famous perfume that I found while I was doing some research on sandalwood. There are two perfumes that I found two fairly famous perfumes that I found while I was doing some research, and I decided that I would try to recreate them. One of them or the original blend has, I think, 3 oils that come from animals, and I didn't want that, so I did a little bit more research and found that the essential oils, the plant-based essential oil version, and I created that. And I'm actually wearing it right now, and I'm telling you, it is so. This is probably my favorite perfume that I've created so far. Yeah, I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a little bit. But let me show it to you. So this is the pure essential oil blend. There's a bit of a division based on, some oils being heavier than others. And at the bottom of it is a little piece of opoponax resin. That's one of the ingredients that was called for, but I didn't have the oil, so I just put a piece of the resin in there. So let me go ahead and shake that up, and you can see what it looks like. And then I went ahead and I had some extra. So this is the pure essential oil blend. And then I went ahead and I had some extra oil that I added into another one, and I added some carrier oil to this. So this is the, and I again added a piece of the opoponax resin to the blend. As you come in, just go ahead and, pop a hello in the chat, or just say hi. Let me pop that right over there. All right, so sandalwood. Whenever you go into, let's say, guessing like Oriental stores, that first aroma that tends to hit you, that is sandalwood. So whenever I walk, that's usually when I think of sandalwood, the first thing that pops into my head is usually like an Oriental store. Sandalwood, I'm going to tell you what people consider it to be. It's a very sensual, a very earthy type of oil, or the aroma. It's very uplifting, and it is used in blends that tend to promote mindfulness. So you typically, I don't know if you've ever been into a monastery. I had the chance of actually going into a Buddhist monastery a gosh, I think I was 17, so it's decades ago. And we could smell that. And when you go into, um, like I said, into any Oriental stores, you typically also smell that that scent that's coming. Usually, it's the first thing that you smell is the sandalwood. And one of the things with sandalwood is the aroma tends to linger for a long time, even after the a piece has been cut and just sitting around. It lingers. I'm gonna take out the piece that I have. I have a piece of sandalwood here. Let me take it out of the plastic. It is kind of crystalline. So what I did was I took a little bit of the like the shavings and I added it to the perfume that I created this morning. But this is a piece of the sandalwood. And sandalwood is a tree. So let me make sure I say that. I'm not assuming anything here. So that's a piece of sandalwood. And the scent, I don't know how old this particular piece is, but I've had this for about, I think about 3 years. And it is so intoxicating. It just smells so amazing. So that is a piece of sandalwood. So it's very, it's used in a lot of blends that are considered to be aphrodisiac. So if that is something that you are into, I can give you a blend because I actually have a particular aphrodisiac blend right in front of me. So before I jump into everything, let me just give you have a little bit that fell on. All right, so for this aphrodisiac blend, it's very, very simple. It's just 2 drops of sandalwood, 2 drops of patchouli, 2 drops of ylang ylang, and 2 drops of rose. Very, very easy. And I apologize if you're hearing music. I'm really hoping that it's not coming through because I know that, let me just up here. Okay, I know that sometimes you get kicked off if certain music comes through that's considered to be copywritten. You might also hear some kids downstairs playing. I don't mind the kids' noises, but some of the music that I'm hearing is not necessarily appropriate. So I'm hoping that it's that none of it is coming through. Anyway, so the aphrodisiac blend, and I will pop these in the comments. At the end of this is two drops of sandalwood essential oil, 2 drops of patchouli essential oil, 2 drops of ylang ylang, and 2 drops of rose essential oil. Or you can increase the amounts. It's entirely up to you. So you might want to put in 4 drops of each or 6 drops of each, however amount you want to make. You could make this as a blend that you can use in the diffuser as well. So when you make this, just put a couple drops into your diffuser and have it going in your bedroom or throughout the house. So very, very easy. You could also make some bath salts using this particular blend. Just put a few drops in with some Epsom salts. You're mixing with maybe a cup of Epsom salt to half a cup of the Himalayan pink salt, maybe a little bit of baking soda, and then put about 10 drops of this particular blend, and that would be a really, really how do you put this? A very, very erotic kind of blend to soak in the tub with. So like again, that's the aphrodisiac blend. There's another one I'd like to share with you. This is called Lift Your Spirit, and this one has 2 drops of sandalwood, 2 of bergamot, 2 of rosewood, and 1 of vanilla. Or you can, like I said, you can double it to 4 of sandalwood, 4 bergamot, 4 rosewood, and 2 of vanilla, however amount you want to use in there. And I shared with you in the past that sandalwood is an ingredient in the facial moisturizer that I work with, because sandalwood is so good for the skin as well. And there's a beauty blend. I think I've shared. I did create the one called Show Your Skin Some Love. That particular blend also has sandalwood in it. So if you haven't created that, you might want to just pop in and find the that particular video, or I will link it to this video so that you can go ahead and try to create that one. But this particular beauty blend has 10 drops of sandalwood, 10 of vanilla, 8 of grapefruit, and 6 of bergamot. So or you can double, triple, however, or even make it, smaller. So those are a few blends that have the sandalwood in there. All right, so let me give you a little bit of history. I'm going to go into a couple of other blends, but let me give you a little bit of history of sandalwood as well. Like I mentioned before, sandalwood can retain its aroma or the scent for years, even decades after it's been harvested. And typically, sandalwood isn't harvested. It's the tree would normally get blown over during a storm or something, and then it would be harvested that way. But typically, a sandalwood tree is never cut. A lot of the ancient Indian temples and sacred objects that they work with, like temple doors, the incense, rosaries, those typically were created using sandalwood, or whenever you walked into the temples, the areas, the wooden parts around the doors, those were all made out of sandalwood, and the aroma is just so intoxicating. Sandalwood was also the major ingredient in Egyptian embalming, and it was believed to have the power to release the souls of the dead during the funeral rites. During the 18th century, sandalwood was a really important ingredient when it came to making incense, and even today, you can find sandalwood incense, and like I said, you can find sandalwood in so many different perfumes as well. You can also find sandalwood made into a paste, and anytime, anything that's considered to be a vehicle for scenting the body, like bath salts, which I mentioned, maybe for sugar scrubs, as well as lotions. You can also find sandalwood in those as well. During the Georgian era, roughly 1714 to 1835, sandalwood was considered to be a more masculine scent. But in 1796, James Flores, a perfumer, he created a perfume called, let me see if I can pronounce this correctly, Stephanotis. And Stephanotis is actually a type of jasmine, but the name of the perfume is called Stephanotis. That was created back in 1796. And it is still made to this day by the descendants of James Flores. I think the business is now called Flores House. And that is one of the perfumes that I'm actually going to try to recreate, because some of the ingredients that were in the original blend I believe are available, or they're just so expensive that I probably wouldn't be able to even acquire them just because of the exorbitant price of it. So I'm going to try to recreate the Stephanotis perfume that was first created in 1796 by James Flores. There is another perfume, the one I shared with you earlier. That's another famous perfume that I recreated in a more plant-based form. So Stephanotis actually has sandalwood as the top note. No, actually, the top note is orange blossom and a couple of the citrus notes, which I think I'm guessing they're a little secretive with that because it just says citrus. The citrus notes would be like lemon, bergamot, neroli, definitely orange blossom. Orange blossom is considered to be the top note for this one. The middle notes are Stephanotis, which is the jasmine, and which is the namesake for the perfume. Another middle note is the lily of the valley, coriander, carnation, honeysuckle, and I think those are all the mid notes. And so your top note is orange blossom, and those are the mid notes. The base notes are sandalwood, musk, which comes from, this was created in 1796, so the musk is the actual animal scent that was put in here. Today, the musk that I'm working with is more of a plant-based version, because I didn't want any animal versions, any animal oils to be in my personal perfume. All right, so musk is a base note, sandalwood is a base note, as well as this says some powdery notes. And I took the blend to my herbalist, and we were trying to determine, well, what could they possibly mean by powdery notes? Because when I think of powdery, my mind immediately went to like baby powder. So I'm thinking that there's probably a little bit of lavender that might have been put in here as a base note. Now, once I try to recreate this, I will let you know how it goes. But I just wanted to share with you what those ingredients were and the name of this particular perfume, which was a very famous perfume with sandalwood. Now, back in those times, things like fans, fans, I mean the hand ones that you would fan yourself with, the decorative gloves that were worn, as well as the sewing boxes. I don't know if you even, I think I saw one when I went to a thrift store recently. It was where, you know, people, seamstresses would keep their threads and needle things. Well, the sewing boxes were usually made out of sandalwood. All right, so there's a, in my research, I discovered that there was a little bit of a scandal when, you know, as far as sandalwood was concerned. But, you know, when it comes to these type of woods that are considered to be like near, wouldn't say near extinction, but been harvested so much that they're protected, there's a little bit of scandal involved. So there was some illegal smuggling over the last couple of decades because of the value of sandalwood and because of the value of the oil. And there was a particular smuggler from India. I'm going to try to pronounce his name, but I'll spell it for you. Vierrappan. I'm guessing Veerappan. So this particular Indian smuggler was also an elephant poacher, and he was allegedly murdered more than 100 people before he was actually killed by a task force. And the particular task force that ended up, you know, stopping him was Operation Cocoon in 2004. So when you're sourcing your sandalwood, you want to make sure that you're getting it from a reputable source and from a source that is that's where the sandalwood is renewable. You want to, and so do your research. Places like online, like Mountain Rose Herbs, I know is a reputable source, so you can just check those out. But don't just rely on that source. Do a little bit research for yourself and see if you can come up with, you know, your particular sourcing. All right, so benefits of sandalwood. I mentioned some in the perfume that we made before called Show Your Skin Some Love. So benefits, it does calm the mind. I mentioned that it is one of the essential oils that's worked with in, you know, when people are practicing mindfulness. So just put a couple of drops of it into your diffuser, or you can even just put a few drops of it on your wrist and just smell that way. It's very, very calming. It's used a lot in meditation, so it's the perfect oil for that. It does help to alleviate worry. So if you're prone to worry, if you're prone to stress, you might want to diffuse just a little bit of sandalwood essential oil in your diffuser. It does help to calm the central nervous system. Like I mentioned, it's used in meditation. And for the skin, I talked again about the Show Your Skin Some Love, because it helps to tone and firm up your skin. So if you do have a certain particular maybe moisturizer that you love to use on your skin, adding a couple drops of the sandalwood essential oil to that, just mixing that in really good, that's going to give a boost to that particular blend that you might be working with, and certainly boost your skin as well. It's a natural astringent, and it's also very antiseptic. So it's used in things like soaps and in beauty creams. And as I mentioned in the beginning, it is considered to be an aphrodisiac. As far as perfuming is concerned, it's typically a base note because it's just so it's a very powerful aroma, and it is used as a fixative, right? The way that it's described somehow, I think, is kind of like going on a magic carpet ride. right? So when you inhale or when you get the aroma of the sandalwood, that's the I guess that's the one way of putting it. It's you imagine what's that show called Aladdin and being on a magic carpet, right? So all right. So those are just a few of the benefits. Let's talk a little bit about, before I talk about the blend, let's talk a little bit about some um, little known facts about sandalwood. Um, First one, the essential oil. The essential oil is harvested when the trees are between 30 to 50 years old. So the oil is not harvested from young trees. So the trees have to get pretty old before the oil is harvested. Full maturity of these trees are typically between 60 to 80 years old. In 78 AD, I'm going to try to pronounce the name again, Dioscorides was the first to mention sandalwood in his book called De Materia Medica. And this is a book that's still around and still looked at today as far as plant knowledge and plant wisdom is concerned, because it's considered to be the ultimate reference for plants well into the 17th century, but you can still find copies of it and learn a lot about different plants as they existed back in the day. The sandalwood tree is considered to be parasitic in nature because the roots tend to absorb nutrients from other plant matter or other roots that are around it. So it will actually burrow into other roots and absorb nutrients from those. The sandalwood tree is never cut down. I mentioned that earlier, but it tends to be uprooted naturally, like during storms and especially during the rainy season. The roots are always extremely rich in essential oils right after this or around this time. So that's usually when a sandalwood tree is uprooted, then that's the best time to harvest the essential oil because it is just so powerful during that time. The Indian sandalwood is the most valued species, and it's also a major export for India. The Indian sandalwood is at risk for extinction simply because it is just so popular, and also because of the fact that a lot of the times when the sandalwood is harvested, it's done in an unsustainable way, which is why I'm suggesting that when you're doing your research on trying to purchase the essential oil, make sure you do purchase from a sustainable and renewable source. The sandalwood trees tend to reach between 33 and 66 feet in height, so they do get pretty tall. And sandalwood is actually used as a flavoring in a few things. I won't mention that on here, but it is used as a flavoring in a few things. Back in the 1790s, it was actually used as a major trading product with Hawaii because it was so popular back in those days, and it had become really popular in China as well. So they used that as a major trade product between China and Hawaii. All right, so let me share with you this particular blend that I made, and it is based on a perfume that I discovered online called Shalimar. Now, Shalimar, I believe it is still made, but it has, I think, 3 or 4 ingredients. Let me see. It's got 3 ingredients in there that come from animals. And one of them, I believe it is still illegal. I have to do a little bit more research on that. I should have checked, but I think it is still illegal. Now, this particular perfume, Shalimar, let me tell you what's in the original blend. The original blend has bergamot, lemon, iris, jasmine, rose, patchouli, vetiver, opoponax, tonka bean, frankincense, sandalwood, musk, civet, ambergris, leather, and vanilla. That's the original blend for Shalimar. But as I was going through this, and I thought, this is going to be a little bit of a challenge for me since someone requested sandalwood. Let me see if I can recreate this perfume. And let me, the ones that came the ingredients in here that came from animals are musk, which comes from the deer, civet, which comes from I think it's a type of cat. And if you're familiar with let me see, if you're familiar with this very expensive coffee called Kopi Luwak, it was mentioned in the movie Bucket List with Morgan Freeman. Kopi Luwak is that helps to create that particular coffee. Is where the civet, that's what it's called. It's called civet, but the oil that or the excretion is also referred to as civet. So I didn't want that in here, so I had to come up with a particular plant-based version. Also, ambergris is in here, and let me tell you what ambergris actually is. Ambergris is formed from the secretion of the bile ducts of the sperm whale. Yes, you heard me correctly. And it was declared, the sperm whale was declared endangered in 1970. So unless you happen to be in the ocean and you see a piece of ambergris floating, or you have a dead sperm whale wash up on the shore that you can harvest it from, or a piece of ambergris washes up on the beach, then that's pretty much where you're going to find it. Because I don't, from my research, I think ambergris is still illegal. So there is like another, there are a couple oils that I think are blended together to create the ambergris fragrance. I might be wrong. I didn't do enough research into ambergris to know. I just know that the sperm whale that it comes from is an endangered species. So, and the only ways to really get it, and I know it's a very, very spicy, not spicy, a very expensive oil as well. So ambergris, which is in the Charl blend. The other one that is in here is musk. That's another blend, and we know that musk comes from the deer. And the musk is a deer glandular secretion, and has for a very long time been used as a perfume fixative. Actually, one of the most expensive animal products that you can find. So what I did was I took all of the animal ingredients and I found a plant-based alternative, and I created my version of Shalimar, which is absolutely incredible. It just smells, to me, it is probably my favorite perfume that I've created so far. So let me tell you what is in mine. I kept some of the original, now the recipe is not online. I just, intuitively came up with the amount of drops that I wanted to have in of the particular ingredients. So let me share with you what I used instead of, I did have a plant-based version of musk already, so I didn't have to recreate that one. But for civet, what did I use for the alternative? For iris, I did not have iris, so I used lavender as the alternative. For ambergris, I used amber, the resin amber. For leather, which was also in the original blend, I used a combination of clove and cinnamon to create like a leather aroma. And for the tonka bean, I used honey instead of the tonka bean. I don't remember what I used for civet. Oh, yes, I used night champa. So For my blend, there's bergamot, lemon, lavender, jasmine, rose, patchouli, vetiver, opoponax resin, um, honey, frankincense, sandalwood, nightchampa musk, vanilla, clove, and cinnamon. That sounds like a lot. It's complicated, but it is, oh, so, it just smells so amazing. So let me go ahead. I'm going to show it to you. I talked about a little bit at the beginning. This is the pure essential oil blend of what I am now calling Where Light Dwells. That is the name that I came up with for my version of it. And I have no idea what the original Shalimar smells like. I just knew that when I read it, it had to sound amazing because I get an idea of what these blends, these oils smell like together. But when I made my version of it, it just smells incredible. So this is the pure essential oil blend. And then, whoops, then I took a little bit that was left. I added some carrier oil to it and put a piece of the opoponax resin inside. And it just smells so incredible. I got to put on some more. I know I'm kind of doing it, but it smells so good. So what I'm thinking of, I'm just thinking about this because I've made so many changes to it. I think I'm going to have a couple people test it out for me and tell me what they think. So I have called it Where Light Dwells. So I did put a label on here. Let me share with you what the opoponax resin looks like because opoponax was an ingredient. And let me get a chunk of opoponax resin from here. So that's the opoponax resin. Let's see if I can get closer. And there's just a little piece of that in here since I did not have the actual oil. All right. And then let me share with you again what the sandalwood, the piece of sandalwood that I have, what that looks like. So here is a piece of the, get that in there. Trying to get it to focus. All right, so that's a piece of sandalwood. And that is the blend. So I was gonna say try to improve on it, but I don't think there's a way for me to improve on this blend because it is just that good. And I am so impressed with it. I'm so impressed. So that is my version of that particular one. Let me find a few more. I did have a few more sandalwood blends that I wanted to share with you that you could create on your own. This one is it's just called Rose, but you could call it sandalwood because sandalwood is actually like the main note. So there are 2 drops of rose in here, 4 drops of sandalwood, 5 drops of bergamot. Let me find, I did write down a few. So let me share just a couple with you. This one is spicy sandalwood, and this has 6 drops of sandalwood, 4 drops of vanilla, 2 drops of cinnamon, 2 drops of clove, 2 drops of ginger. And remember that you can always double, triple, quadruple these recipes if you wanted to, or you can, make them smaller. You could do 3 sandalwood, 2 vanilla, and 1 each of cinnamon, clove, and ginger. So that's more spicy sandalwood blend. So you could use that maybe around, like this time of the year, with it being Christmas time. That would be a really nice blend to diffuse, but you could also wear it on your skin. So here's another spicy version of the sandalwood: 5 bergamot, 1 clove, 4 drops sandalwood, and 2 drops of vanilla. So what I'll do is I will post a few of these blends in the comment section, and that way you have them available, that if you wanted to try them, you could. Let me see if I can find. There are quite a few that I wrote down that you'd want to try. All right, here's one which has sandalwood as the main note. This one is called Joy. This is 8 drops of sandalwood, 7 of ylang ylang, 6 of bergamot, 3 of cypress, and 3 drops of black pepper essential oil. So what I'll do is I'll just write these down in the comment section, and then you can go ahead and attempt to make them yourself. All right, so that is all about sandalwood. Let's talk a little bit about tea. I did mention that I was going to talk a little bit about since I didn't get to do the tea time this week. Nicholas, do me a favor, please. Can you grab my teacup from off the table? I forgot it. I'm going to grab my tea, and this is one that I tried out. What I'm going to do today is actually share with you a few that you can go and purchase. Thank you, David. Excuse me 1 second. What was that? I'm not going to be much longer. All right, so this particular tea is one that you can buy. I went to the Dollar Tree recently, and they had come up with some, let me find it. I'm going to share those with you. I said, since I found these, I decided, these are probably readily available to a lot of you if you live in an area where there's a Dollar Tree. So I found these, and I wanted to share them with you. This is the one that I went ahead and I tried. This one is called Wellness, and the ingredients are cinnamon, fennel, anise, sage, turmeric. Yes, turmeric is also in here. And I've mentioned these in previous tea time talks, okay? Fennel, anise, sage, cinnamon. Well, actually, sage is probably one that I did not mention, but cinnamon and turmeric. So this one is called Wellness, and it's by a company called either To Vive or To Vive. I'm guessing it's like a play on the word revive. And they're found at the Dollar Tree, but you can also find these on Amazon. This is a new one. This just came out, well, new to me. I've only seen it in the Dollar Trees this past week. So I went ahead and I got this to try it out. They come in these little packets, look like this. The only thing that I don't like about them, because I love my teas to be strong, there's not a whole, let me see if I can bring it closer. There's not a lot in the tea bag. There's enough, if you don't like your tea strong, but I love my tea to be really strong. So I actually have 2 tea bags in here. I will tell you, it is very delicious. It does taste really good. It just doesn't have a lot of the material in there for me. But it is a really good blend, really good ingredients. So you might want to check that one out. Let me set that there. Another that I found was this one. They do have a let's see. They do have a detox version, and this one has green tea, rose hips, which I talked about in a previous video, nettle leaves, peppermint, lemon balm, anise again, and dandelion root. And we know that dandelion root is a really good detox herb. So rose hip, we know it's loaded with vitamin C. Nettle is also really good for pain. Peppermint, great for the stomach. Lemon balm, very calming and soothing for the stomach as well. Anise is aniseed has that, how do you describe that? I don't want to say medicinal, but it's very antiseptic. It's antibacterial, antiviral, and of course dandelion root is your detox agent. So this blend is that's a very good one, also by the same company called To Be. So we set that here. Another one that they just came out with is called Relax, and this one has, let me find the ingredients: chamomile, rooibos tea, which I mentioned in a previous video, rose petals again, lavender, and let me see what else. Passion flower is in here, and licorice root is also in here. So again, very, very good ingredients. So if you want to just to test these out, you can find these at the Dollar Tree. I looked for them on Amazon, but I did not find these particular ones on Amazon. So, but I know that the Dollar Tree is also online, so you might want to try them there. I can tell you these ones though are on Amazon or at the Dollar Tree, whichever one you want to try. And this one is what's it? Peach and passion fruit, and this one tastes really good. And let me tell you what else is in here. So it's got black tea with the peach and passion fruit flavors. And the other one I wanted to share with you, this is apple and cranberry with black tea. So I know that these are available on Amazon, so you can always go and check Amazon for these particular ones. So those are the teas I wanted to share with you, since I didn't get a chance to do the tea time this past Tuesday. So, but I wanted to share something with you that wasn't going to take too long. But after trying the wellness tea, I said, well, maybe I should just go ahead and give you something that will probably be easily available to you, readily available, because I know a lot of places do have Dollar Trees close by, and you're looking at $20. You're looking at 20 tea bags for $1, and they're good ingredients. Okay, so you might want to give those a try, or just after if you do decide to try these, maybe try to recreate the particular blends that are on here. For example, this wellness one is fennel, anise, sage, cinnamon, and turmeric. Some of you might have all of those ingredients in your kitchen, your spice cabinet already. So you might even try to create it yourself. So, and again, the wellness one is fennel, anise seed, sage, cinnamon, and turmeric. And the detox one, this one you may not necessarily have. But there's green tea, rosehip seed, nettle leaves, peppermint, lemon balm, anise, and dandelion root. And that is this is the detox one. This this box is green, which is why it's showing up like a green screen type effect. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep what I was initially planning on talking about on Wisdom Wednesday. I'm just going to hold on to that until next week, because I think we did quite a bit today with the perfuming as well as the teas. So if you have any questions after watching this, whether you were live or replay, just pop them in the comment section and I will get back to those. And if you are interested in the perfume, just again, you can direct message me either on YouTube or on Facebook, and even on Instagram. I'm also on Instagram, and you can just let me know that you're interested in the perfume that I mentioned, and I will go ahead and post a few of the blends that I mentioned here. I will post them in the comments section so that you have those to if you want to try to create some of them. So again, this is a live stream that was by special request, all about sandalwood, and hope you enjoyed it. So I will see you again. If I can go live over the weekend, I probably will do that, but I know I have some things that are coming up. So if I don't see you before Tuesday, definitely Tuesday for tea time. All right, and if you have a special request for a tea blend, I do have one that I just created. Yes, 2 days ago, and I haven't actually tried it yet, but I put the ingredients together and they've been, sitting in the glass jar, kind of infusing with each other. So I'm going to try that over the weekend, and I will share that blend with you on Tuesday. All right. So thank you all for being here. I know a few of you popped in and out. It's Friday, so there's a lot of stuff going on. All right, but thank you so much for sharing this time with me, and I will see you all again on Tuesday.